All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to take another look at KULR and SOUND, and really both of them are coming up to very, very important tests. All right, so KULR, as you can see here, listen. I know no one wants to see a double-digit day, 50, almost 16% loss. No one wants to see that. All right. Look, I'm still seeing a stock that's over the 8 moving average. The candle held the line. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like that back to back, right? And I'll talk about that a little more. But I'm here assuming good things when it's telling me good things, and then I quickly change if anything changes, right? So to me, you're over the 8 moving average, you're a bullish stock. I don't care if you're 3 letters, 4 letters, or 5 letters, right? But this is an important test, and I think on Monday we're going to see what happens. Are we going to hold and bounce, or are we going to go little worrisome down here? But again, I'll get into all that shortly, right? With SoundHound, again, very important test coming up. My thoughts were we were going to be coming down to the 50 moving average. My thoughts were that the 50 moving average would be coming up to my next resistance line. Lo and behold, the 50 moving average is pretty much on my next resistance line, right? So this is a really important. Are we going to go back up to the 6s, or are we potentially falling to the 4s? That's essentially what's the 1-2 in my head right there, right? So important days tomorrow, and really excited to talk about these today, excuse me. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online, comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, being here and giving me your valuable time, I am so grateful for it, all right? So before I start, I want to make a quick disclaimer, all right? I feel like KULR is starting to get into that like hype level stock, all right? And believe me when I say I'm not here to fall in love with or to bash any stock. I do my best to just see 4 random letters, 3 random letters, 5, whatever it is, right? And I'm hearing a lot of really cool things about the technology, all right? I really do, all right? I love the fact that this is a safety play on like, okay, let me say this again. Auxiliary plays are amazing. All right, so what does that mean? I'm going to move my mouse. So I wish I opened the fireplace. It's a good fireplace conversation. So what's an auxiliary play? Look, do you know how many people came to California on that gold rush trying to find the like big nuggets and like becoming the millionaires, billionaires, whatever you want to call it, right? Most people failed. But the ones that did well, and I'm not talking big, I'm talking well, I'm talking comfortable generational wealth, right? Were the people that sold the pitches, the pitchforks, right? The mining supplies, the food, the things that the miners needed. And hey, look, some won, some lost, they all needed the basics, right? And look, I don't know which EV company is going to win, right? Like, I am not a forward-looking person. I have no crystal ball, right? With my stocks or in the future, right? I don't know if Tesla's going to maintain #1 forever. I don't know if Toyota's going to bring out a hydrogen thing and like destroy EV, right? There's so many. I saw Hyundai and Honda are partnering. 2 rival brands decide, you know what? Let's partner to become #1 and win, right? Like, there are so many different things that are happening in EV, and boom. This is an interesting safety auxiliary play. I don't know who's going to win, but they all better be safe. Whoever's not safe is going to lose, right? And from there's other applications besides EV is what it sounds like. It looks like they're trying to do some space things, this and that. I'm not trying to like get anything wrong, right? So I'm going to just stop at where I know. All that sounds amazing. It does, right? But I know so many other stocks that sounded just as, or honestly, probably even better. All right. There's one that comes to mind. I don't really want to say the letters and like insult anyone, but Yo, there is a stock, it's also a penny stock that was supposed to be like this science miracle. And like it was supposed to cure cancer. They were talking about saving Africa. Dude, it was a beautiful story behind it. The stock is low. It even had one real big headline that did a real big doji gap. It's the story is always cool. The lines help me, like, keep things in check, right? So that was a longer disclaimer that I wanted to say, but for real, listen, I hear all the good. I love all the comments that keep saying why people love this stock and why they're hold. Listen, you're never going to hear me say buy, sell, or hold, right? We're just educated people sharing our thoughts. So I love the longs and strongs that say why they are, right? But to me, what am I looking at, right? Like, let's get into the technical side of this now. Listen, the way that I do my thing is, I'm going to just zoom out and just show you what happens when it's not. Listen, when the 8 and the 20, but just mainly the 8, when the 8 is a stock's worst enemy, you just stay below it and you ride it down. You just stay below it and you ride it down. Maybe you'll pop a little bit, maybe you'll pop a little bit. When the line is not your friend, it's a horrible, sustainably horrible thing, okay? Look, we've seen moments where we've had the 8 and the 20 go up, all right? We've seen moments where we've had the 8 and 20 go up. So this isn't really a surprise, okay? What is the surprise? This is since the stock is the volume, okay? This has nowhere nowhere remotely ever been at 100 million shares on a single day of trading. This thing did it twice, actually, in the last couple days, right? Like, that's a big sentence, okay? So, we've seen this before. We've never seen this volume. And that's kind of where I'm at, all right? The other thing, hold on, sorry to zoom in and out. I hate doing that so much. Look, the other thing is this 200 moving average, okay? We've actually been over it and stayed over it before. We've actually, this is we've come to it, we've bounced, we lost it, we recovered, right? Like, we've been above the 200 before, and I like that. I really do. Problem is, obviously, we haven't done it very well since 2022, right? So it's been a full 2 years and then some. Bunch of rejections. That looks like a lot of red and green to me, right? So there are interesting things happening with the 200. There are interesting things happening with volume. To me, okay, this is for sure bullish over 54 cents. And if you watched my last couple videos, I was talking about either going up to the 80s. I know I don't have the line here. The line's the 90, right? But I was talking about going up to the 80s or down to the 50s. Clearly down to the 50s was what it was, right? And again, it was because of this doji. That's a beautiful candle that broke, but no confirmation. And then what do you know? We end up actually coming back down, right? Down's okay, as long as we don't lose this line. Look, if we lose 54 cents, if we come down to 53 cents, maybe even 52, it could actually be a real quick fall to 43. I don't know if this 47 cent line was big, because you can see it also did that. It was this guy. I can't delete that line. No, that's a gap fill line. Can't get rid of that. Maybe this will hold, actually. Maybe this will hold. But I always say I'm going to give, these are computer generated lines, right? Like, these white ones are just some dude, me, right? Just clicking, right? So I got to believe the 200 moving average is probably a lot more correct than my little line right here, right? So I would say if we lose 53, if we start coming into that 52, my expectation is we're dropping to maybe 42, maybe 43, maybe 45, maybe 47, right? But like, I'm assuming we're coming down to the purple line, okay? If this blue line, if this green line can do the job, if the 8 is actually a line that we are bouncing on, we need to use it to break 70. And again, I was talking about an 80 something line. Give me a second. I'm assuming it's the top of that. No, maybe it's that. 81. Yeah, because it looks like it's that. Looks like it's the top of that. Looks like it's kind of the bottom of those. Yeah, 81 cents. All right. I need Okay, and it's weird to say it, right? Because obviously, if I'm breaking the 70, I am going to be thinking 92 cents because that's just red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 right? So, um, let's say it like this. If we can actually bounce from, let's even call it 55, let's say we come all the way down to the 8 and make the move, or even this 59 that we're at. If we can come to 70, what did you open at? This day right here opens at 73. Look, if we can come to 73 cents, I'll set a 73-cent alert. I'm cool with 73. It might even be better to not be greedy and do 74. I obviously wish I had more decimals and I would set a couple decimals in between that, right? But let me know 73 cents. I think 73 cents might be the confirmation number to make me think 92. Otherwise, I am thinking 43, all right? So I am for sure bullish. Listen, this is the other thing. I'm going to end it with this, all right? I'm going to go to the weekly after, so not necessary. We are bullish over the 200 moving average, all right? If break all 5 and fly, all right? This thing has broken it, couldn't confirm and fly just yet, right? But if we go up, we come back down and we bounce on it, that's a big thing. Also, maybe the 20 will golden cross the 200. I don't know, right? That's some assumptions I'm making. And hey, if it falls too quick, it's going to be irrelevant, right? Because it looks like it's probably going to take a couple days. That's a long little horizontal right there, right? But yeah, no one wants to fall from 55 to 40 something, right? That's another 20% loss. You're losing another dime on that, right? So, it's what it is, right? So I'm not liking that RSI. That said, hey, this thing was at 89, so maybe coming down to 76 is healthy enough to turn around and go back up, right? So that's a maybe. I care more about bouncing on the 8. Volume's been an issue, right? But I think we're going to need, that's our number. Look, we need 24 million shares traded tomorrow, okay? So if I need 24 million shares on a 7-hour trading day, I need 3.5 million shares in that first hour. Roughly, what is that? 7 in that second hour, right? Give me 7 million shares in that second hour. I'm going to start feeling good, all right? That's my working assumption right there. So KULR on the daily. Let's take a look at it on the weekly. Hey, this is a good weekly, all right? As concerned as I was, this is a good weekly, all right? Let me zoom out real quick because there's one thing catching my eye. So this 82 RSI that we're at seems like it's actually the highest it's ever been. Let me bring this to right there, 82 point something. Okay, we've actually hit it right here. What was this? That was an 80, it was just 80 right there. What was that peak right there? 81. This is the highest our RSI has ever been. That's an interesting thing to note, right? Maybe we can keep pushing and try to go a little higher, a little closer to that. So that's actually a maybe, right? I think it's going to be difficult to break 7. I don't even want to say that. I think it's going to be difficult to break the 100 moving average. All right. I think maybe next week there's another shot at us going back up. What we really, really want is this to close at 71 cents by next Friday. Okay. Because why? We just broke the 50 moving average. I need this to confirm. All right. I know people have big dollar plus list. All I need is 72 cents. Break this line for me on the weekly. Break this line for me on Friday. And yeah, I'm really going to believe that this is looking good, right? Because even if we struggle with the 100 on the weekly, I believe that 50 will now become a friendly line. And hey, maybe we go up, maybe we come back down, and then we rip it, right? So this is a good weekly. There's a little bit of a high RSI, right? But look at that MACD. That thing is hungry to go to the positive. It's been there before and failed, right? And again, we'll see what happens. But clearly, just the weekly volume's insane, right? It is. And there's two ways to look at it. It's definitely decreasing that way, but so far, that's not a bad follow through right there. That's not a horribly like wild slope line, right? So that's decent week over week volume to me right there, right? Taking out this outlier a little bit. So let's confirm the weekly. And that could be an interesting, yeah, maybe we just kind of dance with these for a second. Again, I'm just going to end it with this before I move. Damn, I talked longer than I wanted to. We've seen it, right? It's like, let me just zoom into that. because I think that's going to be a good view. We've gotten over it. We've come back to it. We've bounced to it. We couldn't do the takeoff. We couldn't make the W for winning. I think that's what we're going to set up again. I think we've gone up. I think we're going to come down. I think we're going to try to go again. Hopefully it doesn't even take a second bounce. I would love it to just literally just do a 1. Let's do a Nike check mark, right? Like I'm good with that. So I think this is coming down a little bit. As long as we hold the 200, it's for sure bullish. Dude, if this right? If this holds the 8 and rips, oh yeah, even better, right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Fat fingers, SOUN. Let's come into SoundHound right here, all right? Really, really quickly, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video online, it does wonders with the algorithms, all right? So SoundHound, I don't even know where I want to start, you know? I think I'm going to start down here really quickly. Okay, good volume is an amazing thing. All right, good volume will take a stock from $2 to $10 wicks. All right, it's one of those things where we're not here to justify why a bunch of people are here buying and trading. The goal is to ride the wave when it's there and then just hit eject when the lines tell us to. All right, the thing that makes I don't even know how to phrase this, all right? But this is what I'm trying to say. With good volume, all of a sudden, averages start to adjust, right? Good things happen with the moving averages because, hey, they start going up, they start carrying it up. We love that average change. But the other one down here is volume. The 50-day volume average was 8 million. So what does that mean, right? As of the last 50 days from this, that's a month and a half, right? We're expecting about 8 point something million shares, right? Let me just zoom back even more a little bit, all right? Oh, look at that. It gets a little bit higher right here. It's at 9 point something. It's at 10 point something. Obviously, I don't like the fact that it goes from 10 to 9 to 8, right? But look, at a high peak, it was at 14, right? We'll end it right there because I don't even want to talk about that crazy low volume. You can see that there's decent volume across it from that view, right? So 14 was the high, right? That was an 11, whatever, 15, you get that, right? Middle teens was the high. It looked like 10 to 8 became the regular. And now all of a sudden, after a couple 300 million shares on a single day with a couple 200 million shares and a plentiful 100 million plus, our line moves up all the way to 49 million shares expected. All right, as of Friday, the expectation for the last 50 days was that 73 million shares were going to be traded. We barely did a third of that. Oh man, that's not good. Beautiful volume fixes everything. Beautiful volume is queen for my fellas, is king for my fellas and queen for my ladies out there, right? But bad volume is horrible. Bad volume is the pump and dump, and it's embarrassing to call that a dump, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form, but when you're missing the 50 by a third, you're missing it by 66%, right? You're only hitting it to a third. That's worrisome because now all of a sudden I have to wait for this thing to come all the way back down to here. And again, let's be honest, am I even comfortable thinking that 30 million is going to hold, or do I even need to wait for it to come back to that 15, right? We're again at 73. So volume, as amazing as that up was, which obviously was that, we need something to bring attention back here, okay? So volume's where I wanted to start for sure. Let's come up here, okay? And I'm actually going to delete a couple lines. I'm going to delete this 6. Let me zoom out before I do that, just to be safe. Where are you? I'm going to delete you. I don't need you. Okay, because that is pretty much exactly where the 20 moving averages right now, right? So I'm going to keep that line and I'm going to keep this line, even though obviously that is, no, you know what? I'm going to move that to down here. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to move that to this $4 point that we were watching like a hawk, because again, clearly I care more about this 50 moving average right now. So let's start talking. The 8 moving average is a stock's best friend when it is bouncy, 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 lose, but I got you, baby. Bounce up one more time. It'll take a stock from sub 2 all the way up to 10 plus. It is a stock's best friend when it is. And then never forget, it's not very drastic on this one. It isn't. And hey, maybe that's a good thing, right? But yeah, when it's not, it'll take you from 350 all the way down to a buck. All right, you'll lose 66% just as quickly as it'll take you up 5x, right? Like it's one of those things, all right? So once we lost the 8, it got a little scary. And look, the 20 did nothing. And we talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. Lose it like a hot knife through butter. Lose it like a hot knife through butter. Lose it like a hot... We are not playing roulette. These 4 letters right here are not a plastic little ball with no memory. Those 4 letters, remember that the 20 couldn't do it. The 20 couldn't do it. Oh, man, the 20 is not going to... It's look, I don't play sports, right? But we've seen it. When you go to the free throw line in basketball, you freeze out, and what should be an easy shot, you brick and you lose, right? Like, it remembers the fear was there, and man, at the buzzer, it couldn't make it, and there you go, right? And now we're just going down and down on the 8. We're coming to the 50, all right? And look, the 50 it's an important line, okay? It's the first of the 3, right? Like, obviously the 200 is the most important, it's the biggest, but the 50 is the first, like, independently important line, right? And this is a big point right here, okay? We're basically talking about half this big candle and that's a big point right there. If we lose 475, we're coming down a 4. I see this single digit RSI. I do. And look, RSI is supposed to stay between 30 and 80 and 30 and 80 and 30 and 80. It's this beautiful little yo-yo, right? I've seen lower than 9.37. I have. And I don't know if I've seen it lower on this. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't really look like it, right? What are you? You're a 12. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it. But I'm seeing a bad divergence on both. Maybe there's a little bit of a curving going on in the MACD, but no, I'm seeing the green and the red just not wanting to go the right way, right? I want green to go up, 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 and red to go down, 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 not like this, right? So MACD, RSI, we already talked about the volume. Like, this is, I don't know. I'll be real honest. I don't know if this is going to hold. My thoughts are maybe we'll use this to bounce to here. Maybe we can get to 580. Maybe we can take this to 660. I don't think we're getting over all right now unless a big PR hits. All right, let me flash this real quick. So we're coming into the NASDAQ composite. So the NASDAQ composite is sitting in an interesting place, okay? Everyone, I'll show the S&P 500 as well. Everyone, I'll show the Russell, I'll show the IWM, right? This is the ETF of it. Everyone had the scary Thursday. A lot of them had a decent Friday. Obviously, the Russell couldn't get back over the 8 and the 20, which is a little disappointing to see, right? NASDAQ did do a little better. It did get like, and it's not enough, right? Obviously, I'm not like screaming and blowing balloons and being happy, right? But hey, it's at least over that line, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. There are people that are already talking about S&P 500 dropping pretty low, coming back towards this purple line. A lot of them are saying we're just going to come back down and go back up, right? So like, though we might see a drop, there's still a little bit of a healthiness behind it in my head, right? But this is less about the indices as a whole and just, look, I don't know. I really don't, because I thought we were going to keep going, and I got that wrong. So I'm kind of taking my opinions a little bit lightly here, but I don't know where NASDAQ, S&P 500, and the Russell are going to go. We need to see what Monday confirms. You know, it's there's a likelihood that this thing comes down to 16 flat. There really is. Okay, we definitely need NASDAQ to get over 16.3. Roughly speaking, for QQQ, it's the same thing, right? We need to get into this 443, yeah, that'd be decent. I do not want to come down to 435 or lower, right? So same 50 moving average story there. SOUN again, I think a lot of it's going to be what do the markets do, and maybe that'll help it, but yeah, the indicators aren't looking good and volume's looking scary. Look, we've slipped below the 8. We can't make a big assumption based on a single candle, right? We need a second confirmation. If this thing comes down to like, yeah, 455, if we close around 455, 450 on Friday, my next thought is we're probably coming down towards the 20. And look, the 20 is going to keep coming up, right? So maybe we don't go any lower than 4. And we already know how big of a doji blast off moment 4 was, right? So 4 is a big point. We've got 2 more lines here. I don't want to talk anything about lower than 4 just yet. I think that's way too premature. But yeah, 50 moving average is big on the NASDAQ. It's big on the Russell, and it's big on SOUN, right? So I think that's everything. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, I appreciate you so much.